All right, internet, Goat here. How's it going? Time for a little video. I've done one for a while. And in today's video, we'll be putting together a pedal board. So if you've never done this before, then stay tuned. All right, here we go then. So first of all, I've got this wooden DIY board here. I did not make this. Someone else made it. And then they kind of traded it into Guitar Shop Folkestone, and then I was in there buying some stuff, and Ant kindly threw this in with my purchase, so I kind of got it free of charge. It's quite solid. It's a bit high, I will say. It's quite high, so when it's got the pedals on it, it's going to be quite high up, but you know, shouldn't be too much of a problem. It's got this gap in the middle, which is pretty good, so I can put the power supply in there. All right, power supply. This is a Harley Benton Power Plant Junior. Now, you have to be careful. Some power supplies, they look like this. And the idea is that they have individual outputs that should be isolated, yeah? Now, some of them, the bigger one of this, the Power Plant, not the Junior one, the Power Plant, they are not isolated. It's just effectively a daisy chain, DC daisy chain inside a box. These ones, the Junior ones, the cheaper ones, really not as many outputs, are properly isolated. So these are really good. Definitely a hidden gem. So that's probably going to go under there somewhere. I'll have to attach that somehow. Okay, we've got Velcro. We need lots of this. All right. So fuzz side there, hook side there. Didn't feel that massively heavy duty actually, but that's what happens when you buy it on the internet. I'm going to cover the board with the fuzz side, and I'm going to put the hook side on the backs of the pedals. All right, we have some. These are the, well, this is a daisy chain. They got some, threw it in with the power plant power supply. I'm probably not going to use that. These are the individual DC output leads, and they go from the power supply to the individual pedals, and you can see the pedals down here. So I'm making a bass pedal board. Okay, so I've got various things. I'm probably going to lay them out like this, something like this. Yeah, something like that. I should have some more. I should have some actual jack leads. I've only got 2 at the moment, which is a bit of a pain. They should be arriving today, so we'll get something like this. I'm debating whether or not to squish the volume pedal in here. Actually, yeah, it's kind of more like this really that I want it. So I've got 2 flavors of overdrive here. I've got more overdrive in here. This is the preamp. This is the first in the chain, apart from the volume pedal, probably. And it's got an XLR out here, a DI out. And this has got a DI out, and that could be at the end of the chain. This is a funky kind of auto wah synth pedal. But anyway, the idea is the signal is going to come in here first. This is, you've got tons of preamps, and I'll probably use it for fuzz and octave and maybe an EQ, because it's like 3 pedals in one. But the idea is that's going to have a clean DI output before any processing, so you get a total clean sound to the desk. And then here, the DI out from that is going to be all of the affected tones. So the idea is they both go to the desk, and then the front of house guy can blend those together to get a great sound. And I could figure out a way to run multiple amps out of this as well. I'm not going to do it at the moment because I don't want to get earth loops and stuff. I'm just going to run it through one cab. Anyway, that's it for now. I'll see you shortly when I've put this together. Rock and roll! All right, next stage complete. Velcro installed, fuzzy side down. Fuzzy. Feel the fuzziness. Really, really precisely cut. Oh god, it's gonna do absolute number on my OCD. That is, never mind, doesn't matter, does it? I'm being an idiot. Okay, next thing is to attach pedals. Now you've got to turn them upside down first, because you've got to see what's on the bottom. All right, now these pedals, okay, well this has got a rubber kind of pad there. I'll have to stick the Velcro over the top of it, probably, same with this. But sometimes you have to actually peel these rubber things off and glue the Velcro directly to the metal, because sometimes, you know, they don't really stick on this. This one's just metal. This one, again, got nothing on the back. So this one, there's missing a foot here, but I'm gonna have to take these other feet off. Otherwise it won't sit on the Velcro here. And in this one, this has got fuzz on the bottom, so that won't work. So I'm gonna rip them off and replace with the hook side. This one here has already got the hooks on the back. Yeah, look at that, it's disgusting. But never mind, you won't see it because it'll be that way done. All right, see you in a minute. All right, a little bit of advice for you lovely folks out there. I took the bottom pads off of these pedals. Yeah, that one. This one had the fuzzy Velcro on it. Word of warning, when you put your Velcro on this stuff, make sure you thought about it properly in advance, because that is a pig to get off. It hurt my thumbs. All right, anyway, that's off. These feet came off. That's just like a little layer of the foamy stuff left over, right? And then this is some adhesive stuff. Okay, I've got to be careful not to put my Velcro over this battery compartment. Don't want to do that. This one was that one, and it's left a nice paper from the sticker behind. Right, so what you need to do is you need to get some of this isopropyl alcohol or something similar. You want to spray it on a cloth. I've got a microfiber cloth there. And you want to rub that stuff off as much as you can. Right, that definitely paper. These, I mean, it's not the end of the world. I've got loads of surface area on here that I can stick the Velcro to, but you want to make sure your surfaces are clean, because the Velcro will come off eventually if you don't. So use that, spray it on there, rub it, okay? Don't need to worry about that one because it's already got the right kind of hook Velcro to hook onto that. So I'm going to clean that stuff. Oh yeah, and this pedal, not sure, a couple of reasons. I might not put it on the pedal board anyway. It's a volume pedal. My bass that I'm going to use primarily with this has 2 soap bar pickups in it, with one with an individual volume control on each pickup, which is not very handy for live volume swells of your whole signal. So this is the idea, that I'll use that instead, but I could put on that on the floor next to this pedal board because it's going to be really high, okay, because it's thick as hell. But also these feet go right through the chassis. Yeah, there's like a, you could probably pull them out, because I started to pull that one out, but it'll be one of those things that'll be almost impossible to put back in, or they'll break or something. So I don't know, I'll think about this one. Plus it takes up quite a bit of real estate on the board there. Anyway, gonna go and do that. See you in a minute. Bye. All right, results. This one, once you get the alcohol, the isopropyl stuff slightly underneath the adhesive layer bits that are left on here, and then you pull it back a bit, and then you rub it in a bit more, they come off real quick. So that's good. That one's done. Okay, this one, this papery layer, I could see is going to be an absolute pig, and it's going to make a mess. So I sprayed the stuff straight on there, and I'm going to let it soak in and then try and get that off later. This did not work very well, because this is old dried on glue. So you can see that shining in the sunshine. So next level of approach on this is sandpaper. This is fairly coarse. Well, it's not too coarse, it's 150 or something. So I'm going to use that, try and get some of that off of there. It's going to make a mess. And also, when you take these paddy things off the back of your pedals, keep hold of them, because when you come to sell them again, you might want to include them. And just one more word on this. This stuff is also great for everything musical. You need this if you're a musician. Crackly pots, knobs, spray that in there. If you haven't used an amp for ages, an input jack might be a bit... Spray that in the socket hole. Obviously not while the amp's on, turn it off. Spray it in, let it evaporate, okay? But this stuff is really, really useful. Okay, good. Bye. Right, finally got all the papery crud off of this pedal. Well, there's a bit left on it. And the way forward was spray it with this isopropyl alcohol, and then thumbnail scrapage, which was all kinds of fun and very, very not messy. Yeah, right. Okay, so now I'm just going to use some more isopropyl alcohol to rub the rest of this residue off. We interrupt this program to bring you bacon baguettes, because it's lunchtime. Bacon. I like my bacon thick, cut. Thick. Gratuitous shot of bacon sizzling in the pan. Yeah, I don't like my bacon too crispy. Shock horror. So I'm eating it. All right, thanks. Right, bacon sandwich has been consumed. And in that time, hey, my jack leads arrived. Woo! Perfect. Okay, so this one is still proving contentious because that adhesive residue didn't want to come off very easily. So I've sprayed more stuff on it and then let it soak, and I'm going to start rubbing that off. And that looks like it's going to be a pain. So see you in a million years. Bye. Right, finally got all that stuff off, and it was way more aggravation than it had any right to be. But there's no more adhesive on there, and it took ages. Right, this one I sanded down a bit. Yeah, you can see the bare metal now. These are still kind of slightly proud, not really. But yeah, I mean, I've just got to stop at some point, otherwise I'm going to start doing damage to the thing. By the way, lots of people hate on these, but there's metal in it. Look, Behringer, but it's metal. The rest is plastic, but it's really thick plastic. I mean, if you break that, I mean, Jesus Christ, I don't know what's wrong with you. I'm heavy-footed, and this is fine. And this is basically a clone of the Boss Bass Overdrive pedal. It just sounds exactly the same, basically. So it's but a fraction of the price. Really good pedal. And if you can find these are kind of funky. And I like the way that these pop out. See? Tone lock. And this one's unusual because it is a Synth Bass 7, but someone covered this up before I bought it because it's a misprint under there. It says delay echo. Yeah, so it's a misprinted case, but there you go. All right, final stages now. Velcro on here, here, and on the power supply, and on there. And then I put a little bit of Velcro up in there, underneath that one. So that's where the power supply is going to hang from. That seemed like I had to think about it to try and find the most, best place where it can kind of reach what I need it to reach. So now I'll put it all together and we'll see how it goes. All right. All right, so there we go. It is done. Yeah, looks pretty tidy. One plug for the whole thing. Power supply, you can just see the edge of it under there. Was a bit of a pain to try and hook up the power leads, especially because my hands are a bit too bleeding big for this, for that gap. Yeah, so to try and get my hands down in there where that power supply was would cause me quite a lot of aggravation. And then I used my brain and got those, and that helped a lot, and it was easy. And the other thing worth bearing in mind is with a homemade board like this, some of these holes were big enough to slide the jack plug ends through to get to the pedal, so it's all tidy. But some were not, like this strip. It was too narrow. So, yeah, something to worth thinking about. But there we go. So, Zoom B3, Behringer Bass Overdrive, Ibanez Sound Tank SB7 Synth Bass, Dark-Glass Vintage Microtubes, and the Laney Digbeth Preamp. And I decided to go with the volume pedal on the floor if I use it at all. Thinking about that one still. So, now all that's left is to go and see what noise it makes. Rock and roll! All right then, here she is in the glory, all her glory. Don't ignore that, that's the guitar pedal board. So, bass pedal board. Zoom B3, you can see how that works. You can have separate pedals, obviously in each different, there are 3 slots there, and there's hundreds of preamps and pedals in the machine, and they actually sound really good. And it's got a tuner and a looper and all kinds of useful stuff. XLR output there, so I can get a clean output. Okay, Bass Overdrive, Behringer one. It's a copy of the Boss one, and it sounds the same, more or less, as far as I'm aware. That is the Ibanez Auto Wah synth bass kind of thing. Funky sounds. That is the Dark-Glass Vintage Microtubes, which is a different flavour of Overdrive. And then this is the Laney Digbeth preamp with an FET and tube section, an EQ, quite a comprehensive EQ, and another XLR output on the back of that. And in there is the power supply. Now, unfortunately, things do go wrong, and this was no exception, because the Zoom did not want to power off of the Harley Benton power plant down there. Now, I'm not sure whether that's because the plugs that came with the Harley Benton are L-shape, and they've got this part sticking out here, and this socket, input socket, is quite deep. So either it wasn't, because I turned this on and these were just flashing yellow, there was no display. So I was like, oh no. So I plugged it directly in with its own 9-volt with a straight-ended one, and it works fine. So either, well, I'm going to try and get a straight-ended one of these from the power plant to see if I can make that work. Otherwise, I'll just have to run it off of 2 plugs, one for that, one for all the rest of it. But there you go. These things happen. Okay, let's test it out. All right. Let's get some sounds out of this bad boy. Here we go. I'll put you in there. Hopefully it will still record. Hopefully you can still see this. I did try and line it up. This is my second attempt. Always good. Right, so first of all, clean bass sound through the desk. I'm going to turn it up a little bit for this part because it's quite quiet. Okay, so clean bass sound, all right, not particularly loud at the moment, but you know, we don't have the pedals going. All right, then this is the standard preamp sound from the Laney Digbeth. That's the FET drive. All right, okay. Then we've got the 2 flavors, well, 3 flavors of drive. We'll start with the Behringer clone of the Boss Bass Overdrive. Okay. Dark-Glass Vintage Microtubes. All right. Tube sound from the Digbeth preamp. Oi. Until I'm in a bit of a hurry here. All right, now this is where things can get quite fun. We've got some funky auto wah on here. But when we mix that with different flavors of overdrive and an octave, let me just turn that off. Octave is here. Okay, if we have octave, wah, and then we change our flavors of drive, we get some cool sounds. Right, check this. That's monstrous in this room, I can tell you that. Right, vintage microtubes. Less massive, but less harsh. But pretty cool. Right, the tube overdrive flavour now. Definitely more spanky, a bit more harsh in there as well, but pretty cool. I don't know what I prefer. This one is just stupid. It's just gnarly. Wow, okay. Okay, so that's what that sounds like. And yeah, I think probably good workable tone. How about this one? Massive as well. I think this one sounds a bit less artificial. yeah, pretty meaty. Or a bit more natural sounding. There we go. Obviously I've got endless settings I can play with in here and change these tones as much as I want, which I will mess about with going forward. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed it. Bye!